Hello, everyone. My name is Abby Hills, and I will be going over what I believe to be the priorities leaders should focus on for the 21st century. Okay, so just a quick overview. I believe that leaders need to prioritize one, improving poor leadership development programs, two, demonstrating self awareness as an authentic leader in the workplace, and three, implementing a trusting work culture as an honest leader. What I believe to be at the root of many issues within leadership is the poor leadership development industry. So, oftentimes, leaders enter into their position blindly without a full understanding of the scope of skills required for their job leading people. And this blindness does not hide itself. It is actually quickly presented in the organization's culture or in various failures by the leadership, the leader or company. And it all starts with the development industry. So, one approach to understanding how and why there are so many leadership failures is called the bad apple theory, which argues that organizations have done a poor job of selecting the right people for leadership roles. Schools have failed to instill ethical leadership behaviors in their students, and some leaders themselves have developed the wrong values. Some other areas of the industry that need to be improved are diverging interests. Leaders and group members have been seen to not act as a unit that works for each other and sacrifices some of their own interests in order for the entire organization to maximize their ability to function as a whole. And teaching the concept of togetherness and unity and family for leaders in a workplace is tremendously important and would drastically change the leadership industry. Next, the measurement of the base rate of desirable leader behaviors. For example, the industry should be looking for, they should be looking deeper into the roots of problems within their particular organization and have a way of holding leaders accountable for improving these specific workplace conditions, which could typically end up being culture building. Building up a work culture from the ground up is an ability that needs to be taught in leadership development programs. And then also, some industries have no requirements for credentials, experience, intense research, training, or even basic knowledge to be able to teach leadership. And this moves into how the lack of qualifications for teaching leads to confusion and imprecision for people trying to learn leadership. Therefore, there should be a more structured and standardized approach to teaching leadership that is more consistent with higher requirements for those teaching and those in that development industry. Moving on, I believe that building self awareness is incredibly important for leaders across the board. Having self awareness means having a great understanding of one's identity, their story, and values, and they're able to carry those things into their authentic leadership style. Some ways to build self awareness are through acts of self analysis or self study, and you can do this by journaling. Some things that you can journal about are your story or your testimony, your values and motivations, your past experiences and how they guide your future, and how your future and your goals direct your present. And lastly, you should journal through any trials and any crucibles of leadership that you face. How leaders respond to adversity and come out stronger than they were before is what separates the good leaders from the bad. And having the self awareness to see the adversity from another angle and focus on the things inside of yourself that you can control through the adversity will help you to emerge victorious to the other side. The skills that leaders can evaluate in themselves through adversity and journal about in order to strengthen their self awareness are their ability to engage others in shared meeting, having a distinct, compelling voice, acting with authentic integrity, and having an adaptive capacity, which I think is the most critical skill, adapting in those times. Journaling and self reflecting on these attributes will not only strengthen your self awareness through these difficult trials, but also push your authentic leadership forward. Um, and lastly, another priority for leaders should be building a trusting work culture as an honest leader. There's definitely a lack of trust in most workplaces. Trust brings people together and promotes unity, which alone shows its importance. This means that in times where it would be easiest to lie, leaders should hold strong to their values in trust and honesty, even if that makes some things harder for them or for the company. A great example of this would be Loveman, the COO of Hara Entertainment. When they fired an employee, that employee unfortunately killed himself, and some of his staff wanted Loveman to hide the truth in a press conference, or lie to make things easier for the company. But he chose to tell the truth and refused to refrain from his morals. So it really starts with the leader leading by example in order to instill this culture. There should also be consequences for lying in the workplace, like write ups or losses of given responsibilities or freedoms in the workplace and these consequences should remain consistent so there is no feeling of getting away with it easily by employees. And lastly, leaders should also encourage employees to ask questions and give honest answers and feedback, and teach that kind of openness to feedback and empathy in their workplace. And if they don't know the answer to a question, being honest and saying, I don't know. So, in conclusion, leaders should all understand that moving towards self aware and authentic leadership is a lifetime commitment. It doesn't end. There will always be new priorities to focus on as time passes. And I also just wanted to leave you guys with this great Bible verse. James 1 2 through 3 says to consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. This attitude should be translated into the workplace. Let every trial you face be seen as more of an exciting opportunity for growth. Build on your story, write things down in your journal, grow in those moments, and come out the other end stronger with perseverance. This is the success and victory found at the other end, once these priorities are handled, will be more fruitful than not. So, thank you guys. These are my references. I hope you guys have a great rest of this class. Thank you. Bye.